Welcome to the Watermelon. We're sitting down today here with Sam and Lance from Treaty Oak Revival.
Howdy.
What's up?
So you guys just did sound check. You guys are playing Calf Fry. You guys played last year. What's it like to be back at Calf Fry?
It feels like we're back with a vengeance.
Back with a vengeance.
Yeah. I feel like last time at Calf Fry was cool, but I feel like this year probably take that stage with a little more confidence.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of feel a little bit like more one of the big dogs than we did last time when we were here.
For sure, man.
Feels cool. I hope it goes well, man. Hopefully it doesn't rain. The weather looks the same last time we were here.
Yeah.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Do you guys run into that, like, where you are worried about, like, I wonder if we're going to sell tickets to the show, or, like...
here lately, yeah. Here lately, like, we had a show in Salado, and it got rained out.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, that's such a weird situation to deal with, I feel like. Because you show up, and you know the weather's coming, like, but you don't know how bad it's going to be.
Yeah.
Or even if it does lightning. Like, if it rains a little, that's fine. We can deal with that, but...
Then the lightning comes, and it's like, all right, got to sit here for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And pray to God another one doesn't hit, you know? And then at that point, like, you're like, well, do we send them home or do we keep them here? They've already been waiting.
Well, and it's like the third time you have to send them out. It's kind of like...
Yeah. It's like, well...
It's like, we don't want to have to call it, but, like, at some point, the venue owner's like, this is a safety thing. And, you know, as much as we like to be rowdy, at the same time, you know, we don't want people getting struck by lightning at our shows.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you guys are going back there tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
You guys
Yep.
got it rescheduled?
Hopefully,
Third time's the charm, buddy.
dude, knock on...
For real.
I don't know if that's
probably
wood,
plastic.
but,
Probably
you know,
not.
Fucking
hey,
plastic
it's
wood.
the, you know, it's
Yeah.
about it.
So we got Iron Monk beers here. We got a new sponsor. That's why we're handing out the beers.
Hey.
We asked them if they made a non-alcoholic beer, and they did not. So we're like, we knew that Sam drank Bud Zero, so we'll hook him up with some Bud Zero. Now we need to ask them if they make a seltzer, because
either a seltzer or a gluten-free.
a gluten-free.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeremiah,
Celiac disease
call my wife back.
got me good a couple years back.
Yeah.
And so I got diagnosed, and so no more of the fun stuff anymore. I mean, it's like the fun stuff, but like I'm talking about like fried chicken, good pizza. I mean, like that's the good stuff. I'm talking about the fried food that I miss. It's like, man, it's so hard to find good fried gluten-free food.
While we're on the topic, what's your guys' favorite, like, go-to meal if you're going to eat something?
Oh, man.
Like, period?
Well, just like, okay, say it was your last meal. What are you eating?
But we got Jeremiah out here too. I think I keep hearing him answer the question.
I can't hear what he's saying, but he's piping up.
Probably like a big fat ribeye steak.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like some like loaded baked potato and shit, man, some mac and cheese. Some really good mac and cheese.
Yeah. I can get on board with that.
Man, shit, if it was my last meal, I'd be eating all the Babes chicken. If you've ever been there in DFW, there's a place called Babes, and you go in and it's like a family style restaurant of like, it's just one meal, and it's not all you can eat, but kind of is basically. They give you so much food that like it's basically all you can eat, like all the sides, like mashed potatoes, corn, like that's just, they refill that. And dude, that is some of the best Southern food. Their fried chicken, they do like chicken strips, and then they do just whole like pieces of fried chicken as well, bone in and all that, and their sides are just covered in butter. It's like, you know, I'm like, it is so unhealthy, but it, like, when you're like, green beans taste this good, you're like, there's something wrong here, you know. Like, they're good, but like they shouldn't be like savory like that.
I'm also like a big Chinese Indian food guy.
Really?
Maybe I'd go for something like that too.
Really?
There's a great place outside of, or in San Antonio, that Jeremiah and I came across. It's like a little Thai place in a gas station. Literally
dangerous.
Literally, just like we were like stopped off to get gas, and then there was this Thai place next door, and we're like, We love Thai food. Went in there, probably some of the best Panang curry I've ever had in my life.
It's always those places like that, right? It's always the places where it's like we're in a rush. Like, let's just go to this place. It's not like something we have all the time when we're on a trip. Then you find it, it's like, oh my god, like, where did this come from?
Fucking
Absolutely.
badass.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you the same thing. Like, dude, even up at Steamboat Springs, Colorado, where they do Music Fest, there's this little Thai restaurant there, right next to the hotel, the Grand, that is just phenomenal. Their Thai food is so good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I've been wanting to try Indian food.
Yeah.
It's good, man. Do you have a strong stomach?
Yeah.
You like hot things?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
You'll be fine.
Probably like it.
As long as he doesn't have.
I mean, there's different, and you choose your spice level. You know.
See,
Is it like curry?
Yeah, it's like
very
curry
much.
of like, you go there and they're like,
It's
you
like
know,
the
they
whole
might be
point.
like a 1, 2, or a 3, or it's like a 1 to 5 situation. You know.
he's got a strong stomach as long as he doesn't get sushi an hour before we go play golf in 100-degree weather. Then
I think it
that'll
doesn't
do
matter
it.
how strong your gut
Yeah,
is.
I
I
think
think,
that'll do
that's
it,
a bad move for anybody.
Well, looking back,
That's that's
feel
basically
that.
like the majority of our career, his choice of eating right before we go on stage and play a show. Somehow it seems to be the worst thing every time. Come to find out, maybe you shouldn't just eat a bunch of food right before you go up and jump around.
Well, I don't anymore. I try not to. I try to, like, on show day, I try to eat like a possibly breakfast if I can, but I try to eat like an early lunch or just like a big lunch, and then I just wait till after the show to eat dinner.
Do you guys have like a pre-show ritual you guys do before you go out there?
Not really, man. Like, we just try to, I mean, obviously we'll hang out a little bit and bullshit and cat around and stuff, but right before, I don't know, we kind of like go off to ourselves for a little bit. At least I do. I like go off to myself for probably about like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Say a quick prayer that I don't fall on stage or nothing bad happens. And
Well, you fell on stage, which I think we
Yeah,
talked
dude.
about this last time too. But you fell on stage, so I assume you didn't say the prayer before then, because
no, I didn't
I guess
actually.
that day- I guess
That's
that
probably
day-
it.
Started the day
dude.
after.
That was it, man.
Yeah.
He got me. Caught me on my day off. Yeah, dude,
You
it's
got the
actually
scar?
Yeah.
Oh my
scarred
god!
up pretty good, man.
I saw. I was going through my phone yesterday, looking at photos from that day, and saw that, and I was like, I think you can see the bone in the photo. That
Oh
picture.
my
Yeah,
God.
you could feel
I'm pretty sure. I was like, there's this white chunk that's probably about the size of a dime that you can just see, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's his shin bone, like peeking out.
No, you could. Yeah, the doctor was like, yeah, you can see the bone right there. I was like,
That makes
hell
sense.
yeah, dude.
That makes sense.
Hurry up.
Hey, reach down there and touch
Because
that.
our whole thing, I mean, you telling us we get off stage, at the station, and then Sam just disappears for like 45 minutes. Like, no one, like, we saw him right off the stage, and we were like, yeah, boom, we said what's up, and then like we all go to grab whatever we need, and then next thing you know, Sam's just like gone. And he, like, it's like sometimes you're like, oh, he went to the bathroom, whatever. But then like 30 minutes goes by, and you're like, where the hell is
They didn't
Sam?
know. They
Like,
didn't
we
know.
didn't know, because like
Yeah.
we saw him fall on stage, and then he was a champ and played through the rest of the show. It looked like he just tripped,
Yeah.
couldn't even tell. So we didn't even know he was actually injured until he comes back over, and he's like blood all over, like basically almost the same pants he's wearing today, like blood all over his khakis, and then he's got this huge
All over my
bandage sticking up.
shoes.
Yeah, shoes. He's got white Nikes on that are just bloodied up all over the sides, and and then we're like, oh, that's like, you've been at the doctor for like 45 minutes. She's like, yeah, they took me over there on a little wheeler.
It's crazy too, because like when I went in there, like I don't know if I don't want to be redundant of what we talked about on the last podcast. But when I went in the tent, it was all just like it seemed like 18-year-old girls like with alcohol poisoning, and I was like the only one in there with like a real injury.
They were all like,
that's
So like
my
everybody's
God.
like, "What's up with this mother?" And it was like,
is he drunk? No,
No,
was he drunk when he fell over?
Stone sober.
No, stone cold sober. He was actually
Yeah.
playing on stage when it happened.
like when they brought like the ER or the EMT over, and they were like, "Oh, we need like a real EMT," and I was like, "Yeah."
What do you mean a real
Yeah, dude.
EMT?
Exactly.
What
I'm like,
are
what are
you
you?
before?
What are you a
see
doctor? Are you
inside of me
supposed to
right
be
now.
here?
Yeah, it was bad, man.
You find out that guy's just a drunk guy who walked back there, and he's just thinks he's a doctor.
I can fix that.
Yeah.
It's just all drunk girls that are they're in a haze. They're like, is that Treaty Oak Revival's? Who the hell is that?
No, seriously.
All fever
They're like,
dream,
hey,
brother.
I just saw you. What are you doing here? Not saying hi to you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay. All my falls apparently went straight to Andrew.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Andrew last Wednesday at the Hunt County Fair.
Ate shit.
Oh, no.
There were some subs that were about 6 inches to 10 inches from the stage.
Yeah.
And he steps back onto the stage and
Misses the stage.
he just
Falls back
Oh, I
and
saw that
his
video.
complete lower
Yeah.
back just slammed up
Oh.
against the
Which-
stage. Got
Oh,
up.
yeah.
He
Right
could have
back up,
fell
yeah.
forward and fell
I
down.
I saw from my side, I just saw his left foot or right foot, whichever one, just go right in the hole. And I was I thought he was just gonna and disappear. I was like, oh
I
shit,
don't know
this is about
how
to be
he
bad.
managed to fall
And then
onto the stage.
I'm assuming that his foot caught and thankfully didn't catch and break an ankle or sprain it or anything even worse. But yeah, no, he slammed the stage and I kind of stopped singing and I look over and then he pops right back up and then he's like, I'm good. And it's like, all right, he's good. And it was finish the song and then he comes on the talk back and he's like, ow. It's that looked like it hurt. I was like, damn. I was like, you good? He's like, I can make it through the rest of the show. It's
I'm good.
all right, cool, man. It's yeah, it's never fun to fall on stage.
I will say the story you told about the intro that you guys were gonna have do to the new album about the guy in the construction
Uncle
glasses.
Charles.
Yeah.
That is the most hilarious clip we've ever had on the podcast. We reference it all the time to each other,
Really?
and we just whenever he said, "Who the hell is that?"
Yeah.
that was him doing the clip.
Oh man.
And then the all Snapdragon.
Dude.
We want to have a T-shirt that says all Snapdragon.
That guy was
Dude.
a wealth of one-liners.
Yeah, man, he gave us his email.
Yeah,
It's on the recording.
we got.
We need to email him sometime.
Dude, I even went in there and cleaned up all the audio. So, dude, it sounds like he was just on a podcast talking.
That's awesome.
Can't hear none of the driving by, any of the wind rustling, nothing.
Yeah, we need to hire him.
Yeah, he needs to be just a roadie.
I mean,
or
honestly,
something.
the biggest thing is we got too excited uploading the album, and then we uploaded it, and we're like, oh, we forgot to do the skit ideas that we were going to do with the album because we just got excited. We got all the masters back, and they were exactly what we wanted. And we just clicked upload, and then it was like, oh, wait, we already clicked upload. You can't
We'll save it for the next
I don't know
one.
how to do it. Yeah. So it's
please
figure it out. Dude, there's gold in them there hills.
Yeah.
You need to, before you go on stage, just have that play over there.
Oh yes.
Who the hell is that? Right there. and then-
That'd be cool.
Have you guys ever seen I'm sure you have, people that have this whole recording set up before you guys all they all run on stage to have something like a cut into that.
Dude,
Yeah, we have one.
You guys have
Yeah,
one?
it's been a while since you've seen us, but we
yes
have
and no.
a countdown and a 5, 4, 3,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, but not like what he's talking about, though.
radioactive sirens and shit going off. Yeah, but yeah, I guess that's true. I didn't think
he's
about
talking
that.
about you remember that one guy who had Johnny Cash talk before he came on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
I think it's whenever Eli Young Band, when they play, or when we opened up for him one time, I remember I went back on my phone and I saw a video from there, and then walking out, and they had someone do a talk about them or
Gotcha.
whatever.
Carson Jeffrey, he's got a really good one where it's the 0-time world calf roping champion, that's some funny shit like that.
That's what I love, dude.
It's a really hardcore
Dude,
rap song.
It's
and
the
it
do
goes
not
up.
take yourself serious.
Yes.
That is
it's hilarious.
So,
But-
go ahead.
yeah, I was saying, but doing a countdown and that's who the hell is that?
Yeah.
And then they all run out.
Is that?
That'd be
Oh,
cool.
dude.
So, since the
Dude,
last
there's some
time
ideas.
we saw you guys, you played the Opry.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Wow.
It was insane, dude. I still don't know what happened. I feel like
I still don't know how they let us in there, man. It was
it was great though. Very, very the most professional, easiest thing we've ever done. The most taken care of I've ever felt in my entire life. Yeah, it was. You get there, and they already have like a camera crew. So I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube.
I have,
but
yeah.
you can go watch. They did like a behind the scenes footage type deal.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and it was super easy. They were like, "Oh, this is the easiest anyone's ever done this type of thing before with us." And I was like, "Cool, like we're just
Y'all made it.
doing what you're telling us to do."
We just hung out, did what they told us.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, walk over here and go
then-
talk to this person. Okay, cool. We go talk to them.
Yeah,
or-
sound check was super easy, and then just getting people like my wife needed to get. She went with her family, so she wanted to come back there, and they were great about getting her out of the crowd and getting her back to the dressing room. And
Was it weird? Okay, 2-part question here. Was it weird, and then did you worry about it being weird for the aspect of everyone seated in there, and your crowds are not like the seated type of crowds?
it's always weird, like when people are seated. Especially for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was weird, but like it's not. I guess it's not weird because you're going into it knowing what to expect. Like I'm not expecting the people at the Opry to stand up at the front and shower us with beer and scream at you and all this stuff like that.
That'd be
like,
fantastic.
It was even our performance. Like we really dialed it back. Like we wanted to do it the right way, but in our own way, like the best that we could. And I think we did probably the best job we ever could have done on it. Like nothing bad happened. Nobody fell. No cords got unplugged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't accidentally cuss or anything like too bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think it went about as perfect as you could want it.
What songs did you play at the Opry?
No Vacancy and Ode to Bourbon.
Nice. I didn't think that you would play like see you in court, but you know you never.
That one's still a little too fresh. They
Yeah.
weren't ready for that one.
Yeah,
It'd have been like a Marty McFly scene.
Did they have a suggestion of what they wanted you to play, or was it totally?
No, I mean, as far
They
as
just wanted
we
it to
were
be kinda
aware,
clean.
Yeah, it was like obviously it's a radio, national syndicated radio thing, and so with that you have FCC guidelines and things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So whatever's radio friendly, you know, like in Ode to Bourbon or No Vacancy, those are fine. But obviously, you know, basically your big words you can't say on television and radio, you know.
Yeah.
Some of them that we have in other songs, you know, you kind of have to keep those away. It reminds me of whenever this last year playing up at Steamboat, we played the indoor stage and then they had an outdoor stage. And that outdoor stage we played on their like side thing, like when you're walking up back of the stage, it is like, do not swear, like fine incurred, like public place.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we were good boys, but because of that, we had cut "See You in Court" from the set list because we were like, we can't really sing this song out here. Like, I mean, we could, but like, you know, it's like the fun part is like, you know,
well,
the
we
bad
played
words.
it.
But yeah, we like said we were like, oh, we're gonna be done, and we like started to go into, I don't even remember what song. We picked another one to replace that. We started to go into it, and then like we saw all of a sudden like all these people with like phones up in the crowd, like "See you in court, see you in court, see you in court." We were like,
So we were
oh,
like,
really?
we can't say the F word,
Yeah.
but y'all can say that.
Y'all can, but like they're like, we can't
That's
say it,
great-
but like
that's
they're
great.
like, we can't swear, but y'all can, but like we're not saying to, but we're just saying we can't say it, so y'all
Yeah.
are gonna have to help us
So
out.
is that like an on the fly
And,
thing that you?
yeah,
guys did?
that time it was because we
that's
were not
awesome.
planning on even playing it, but
I mean,
you know,
having
people
them
what
say
they
the F
want,
word
yeah.
wasn't an on the fly thing. That just happened to
Yeah.
work out because like we were like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. We usually have them say that.
Yeah.
yeah.
It
But
works.
you know, when you're crunched and thinking like, I don't want to accidentally offend, you know,
Yeah.
you know, the
exactly.
buyer or anything like that. You know, you get hired to do a job, so you want to, you know, do what you're hired to do and not try and cause any issues or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you like to have a little fun, and sometimes
Yeah.
fun is a little rowdy, a little loud.
Yeah.
You know,
Tonight is so it's a great lineup. Like all 3 days, I hear. I don't know if you guys have looked at the rest of the lineup, but tonight is like the perfect night for rowdiness.
oh yeah,
Tonight,
so.
100%.
rowdy.
I believe so.
We were talking to Cody from CH earlier, and he was like Dylan, you guys, and Gio, like all three of you guys could be headlining this. So it's crazy that they're just stacked. Like
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
like
Tonight
that.
is
Yeah.
going to be a fun night.
This is actually like not the first time we played this lineup.
Yeah.
We played
really?
this lineup
Yeah.
at Washfest
Yeah.
Really?
last year. Yeah,
Huh.
I forget where that was at, but it was in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was literally Dylan, or it was the Washers, because they put on Washfest. You probably never heard of them, but they're an old band. They're pretty good. Look them up.
All right, we'll check
The
'em out.
Washers.
The Washers.
And it was
Also
Dylan
played.
Wheeler, us, and Giovanni and the Hired Guns.
Yeah.
Really?
Now
Same,
tonight,
same,
Yeah,
same. Last three as
Yeah.
it was there.
yeah, our road guy Devin was like, "Hey, this is the same lineup as Washfest." I was like,
I
Nice.
forgot about that until you even said that. I was like, oh shit, yeah, we haven't
Yeah.
done it exactly like this.
That's crazy. Obviously, it's a good lineup.
Yeah.
It's already been proven.
Oh,
yeah, man.
The formula
Yeah.
worked.
Do you keep a count of how many shows you've played total? You have any idea?
No, we should.
Total? Yeah, no, we probably should. I mean, I would probably put somewhere in the realm of like probably 300 plus at this point. Probably close to 250 for
It's
sure.
probably not as much as we think.
But I would say it's probably like we've been like the steady last like 2 years doing like 80 to 85 shows a year,
Yeah.
and then plus the shows that we've done already this year,
Yeah.
and then previous probably like 2 to 250.
Look,
But
looking
we're
at,
still very fresh.
I would say,
in that sense.
I would say,
Yeah.
looking at the next like 3 months for you guys, I think you guys are
Yeah.
going to double that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my
100%.
god!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's busy.
How many shows are actually on like your next like 3 months?
This next quarter, I believe, is 26 or 28 shows.
Jesus,
I believe it was 26 or 28 for the first quarter as well.
Oh my
Wow.
god, that's insane.
And then Q3 is about the same.
Yeah.
Like 20. Because that's like our main, like our third quarter is pretty much like all with Co.
yeah,
And so that'll be fun.
yeah. I would say that's like
That's
that's
gonna
a
be a fun time.
perfect
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
a
yeah.
perfect match. And he's dropping a
New
new
album?
album.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's coming out June or July.
What are your thoughts on the 2 songs he's dropped so far?
I think they're good, man. They it's definitely a different side of him
Yeah.
that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
And he's using a different producer, and he's writing with other people, and using a different band too. I think he's using like session musicians and stuff too. But
yeah.
I think it's cool. I've always thought anything coming out of that camp's pretty cool,
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
you like it or not. And you know, even some of the stuff that you don't like, it'll like grow on you. I've come to find, like if you listen to it like 5 or 6 times, you're like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see where
Yeah.
you're going with this.
Yeah. It definitely seems like it's definitely, like you said, it's a different sound. I really like it. It
Yeah.
sounds like it's kind of hard to place it because I feel like 9 Lives is kind of more of like kind of like your faster pace, almost like you'd play it like at a honky tonk or something.
Yeah.
Like that. And then like Damn Near Normal is kind of like your kind of smooth. It's got a smooth sound. I
Yeah.
don't know how to.
No,
how to
it's
describe
like
that.
I think it is kind of that more. It's not like as heavy as he's been doing.
Yeah.
You know, maybe he's not going that full country,
Yeah.
record, like maybe originally planned or anything like that. But I think it's kind of like almost like a more grown up, like
Yeah, it was,
noise complaint, like slightly after. It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. I would.
which I mean, like I
yeah.
think he talked about even in an interview where he's just like, man, it's been 14, 15 years, however long, it's like I've grown up, I've changed, like I'm not the same person, which like,
Yeah.
I mean, true to that, like, you grow up and
yeah. We
change
try
as a
to do the
person.
same exact thing with our music. You
Yeah.
know, like we don't want to sound like the same old song and dance every record.
Yeah.
I know the songs for this new record we're working on are 100 times more mature than what we were writing on our first.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's cool, man. It's cool to see the growth
Yeah.
of the artists
Exactly.
as they go through the motions.
What?
Yeah.
So, like you said, you guys are working on a new record. Do you guys have like a perspective, like time period that you guys want to drop it?
No,
Yeah, not
it's
Damn it,
yeah.
I wanted a good
yeah,
tagline.
I
for
know,
the,
right?
For the video.
you know, right now we probably have about 6 or 7 songs written, or at least I do. I mean, some of them aren't the best, but with this new record, we're just trying to write as much as we can.
Yeah.
So, like, are all 7 of the songs I have written absolute bangers? Probably not. But, I mean, there's a few of them that are pretty damn good
Yeah.
that we're definitely going to keep.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, we're just kind of experimenting with sounds, different styles of writing for me, at least. I've been writing with a lot more other people recently. So I've just been, trying to find ways to write as much as possible.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, when we're ready to go, I would like to just be able to be like, I'll do that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one.
Yeah.
And then we put out
We
a
want to
record.
be able to have a catalog of stuff.
I will tell y'all this. We are going to be working on an acoustic project
Really?
that we will be releasing probably, I don't know. I don't want to say when we'll be releasing it, but we'll be starting to work on it in July.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's super
Go into the studio
Are-
right at the beginning. The first 2 weeks of July, we'll be in the studio.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I
we have
think-
that little bit of time off. Even when we're off, not off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that'd be a really cool perspective to your guys' kind of your music and your songs, because obviously you guys are a lot harder of a band than most other country lineups.
Yeah.
Like this is a perfect line for you guys, because you got Gio, you guys, Dylan, all kind of on the rock side. But I think that'll be really cool to see the acoustic side of everything. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I think, with us, we always try to challenge ourselves as best we can. And I think, we did something kind of similar to it. I don't know if you've seen it on YouTube, that PBS.
I have, because I was on there looking for any acoustic songs that you guys have played, because I was going to ask you if you would play an acoustic song on this podcast. And that's the one I stumbled across.
Yeah. So the PBS one, we got a lot of people have always said hey, I saw your PBS thing. That's where I found out about you or something like that. And so we were like, oh, cool. And we played, me and Lance back in the day, that's what we used to do when we weren't playing gigs with the band, just for money and just to work on our stage presence and our playing. We would just go anywhere around town that would have us, and we'd just set up shop and busk for a little bit and make a quick however much money we made. Usually we make $200. I think one time we made $700 playing some guy's birthday party.
Yeah, that
in the
one.
middle of the day.
That
Got
one
wasted.
that was a crazy one. Because it was probably the halfway point we were at that birthday party. I think it was a buddy of yours from high school or something back in the day. But I mean, shit, this was in 2021, 22.
It was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Back in my drinking days.
back in his drinking. Yeah, I mean, that puts a little perspective on him, when it was. But I mean, he called me up at 1 o'clock on a Friday, and he was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I was like, "Nothing." I was like, "What's up?" And because I did contract IT work, and so I didn't have a phone call, so I wasn't working right there.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "Hey, man, my buddy wants us to come over and just do play some songs." He said he paid each of us $100. I was like, "Shit, dude, sign me up." I was like, some free alcohol, dude. They had Cane's, freaking the large Cane's cups just full of cane sauce and
Oh my god.
just trays.
I'd
of,
sign up just for that.
I mean, it was all there. They were I couldn't say no to alcohol because it was just offensive, and and so it was just they kept drinking more and more. Finally, go out. They needed a cigarette break at one point, and Sam and I were kind of all right, we played the whole record. We had 10, 11 songs at that point, even barely.
CH Lonestar promo. Hey guys, it's Jagger over at the Watering Hole. I'm holding some of our brand new merch here, and this is made by our friends over at CH Lonestar. CH Lonestar is one of the best merch companies out there, and they'll serve all your artist needs, but they also will serve even your personal needs. So Cody over at CH Lonestar can do just about anything you want. If you want a pair of socks, Cody will put your face on those socks. If you want a pair of underwear, Cody will put your face on a pair of underwear. Now, CH Lonestar is one of the premier merch companies of the country scene, or really any music scene out there. You guys go check out CH Lonestar for some of the best merch out there. Thank you to CH Lonestar Promo for sponsoring this podcast. Can I get some water before we start this one? Here you go.
Tastes that much better out of a Bad Brad's cup.
Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole Podcast. We want to tell you about Bad Brad's Barbecue, the longest running sponsor of this podcast, and we really can't thank them enough for that. Bad Brad's has all kinds of dates coming up. I've got a list here all the way into the fall, when they're better.
Emily Hollingshed, winner of the Battle of the Bands, one of the top 3 finalists. Cade Roth and the Black Sheep, they're also going to be playing there coming up. Lowdown Drifters, and for you comedy fans out there, Uncle Laser is coming right here to Stillwater to Bad Brad's Barbecue. You got to check it out. When you come see one of these awesome shows at Bad Brad's, you have to try the food. I'm a fan of the jalapeno cornbread and the smoked brisket, while Jagger's a huge fan of the dirty fries. Try one of those out. Tell Vernon we sent you. And we can't thank Bad Brad's enough for sponsoring this podcast.
Also, I wanted to do something similar like they did on Gasoline with the electric guitar. Then the verse. Listen to this, what they do. Not right here, but just a second.
This just in. That's the first song off of Trio's next new album.
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Turn that off.
Yeah, I like that.
We never stop recording.
Never stop recording.
All right. Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. We always are challenging ourselves, so we were just like, you know what? Why don't we take these songs that we've kind of amped up and dumb them down a little bit, and maybe show a different side of what we're capable of. Yeah. And I don't know. It just also, I mean, it's kind of I feel like a popular thing right now is kind of the acoustic, singer-songwriter folk vibes.
Yeah.
So,
hey, have you guys ever thought about doing like a live session type of thing where you like go record like?
That's what it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it's going to be.
Acoustic,
okay.
Yeah, it'll be.
Yeah, it's going to be video accompanied with audio. Yeah. So it'll be like a video project that will be available like on YouTube. Mm-hmm. And then also it'll be the record will be on Spotify.
Yeah. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, just kind of something to tide people over, honestly.
Yeah.
And
sure.
we're gonna make it try to sound as cool as we can.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what's been the response that you guys have seen from the new album? I mean, obviously people are loving it, but
yeah, it's been really great. Like you said, it's been huge. Just you know. It's weird seeing people bringing up the first record when somebody else brings up the second record. Like, because they'll be like, oh, the second record's amazing. But then they'll be like, oh, no, like, you haven't heard the first record. And I was like, all the time, I'm like, really? Like, you're going to reference that one compared to this one? Like, I felt like we did such a better job on the second one. But I guess, you know, your first record's your first record, and I guess that's always the one people go back to, you know? So
yeah. It always sets kind of that precedent moving forward. And obviously you guys have been topping, you've topped the first record, so now it's like, now you got to top the second record and the third record, and it's like, it's a never-ending cycle of how can you be better, how can you do something a little bit different.
Speaking of being better, it's coming. When are you guys playing stadiums? I mean, that's coming soon, I got to think, right?
A couple of years.
You think that long? There's no way.
Who knows? I don't know. I can't directly speak to like we have anything in the works or anything like that. I mean, there are people who have talked with us that they, you know, would like to do, you know, bigger areas, you know, some arenas and things like that, and that sounds awesome and very much interested in doing that. And I think all of it for us, like right now, it's still very new. And kind of figuring that out of like who we are, like what we're doing, and trying to like navigate just that realm of going and, you know, getting used to even just bigger stages, bigger crowds, even playing, you know, festivals like Calf Ride, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's levels of comfortability you can really only get by doing it.
Like stadiums.
Yeah.
I don't really know when.
Yeah, stadium. Like, because when I think
seems
stadium,
like very far away.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now we're kind of trying to work our way up to the amphitheater arena kind of level.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, thankfully Co and his team were nice of us to let us go on as open for him on as many shows as he let us, because, you know, that's going to be kind of our practice. That's kind of going to be like our practice point with playing these shows with him, is like, okay, we need to start, you know, rising to that level with our performance. We need to start, you know, trying to choreograph things a little bit more, you know, work on our show, work on our stage presence,
Yeah.
How do we take a crowd of that size and put them in the palm of our hand?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You know, I feel like now, like venues like Tumbleweed or Jaunty Floors or Billy Bob's, like we can go there and it's not really intimidating or like very as challenging as it used to be.
Right.
You know, now you can go in there and kind of whip all those people up and, you know, have them in the palm of our hand. But can we go take that and apply that to an arena?
Yeah.
You know, or
I said stadium. I meant
Yeah.
arena.
But yeah, but
it's on its way.
but yeah,
It's coming.
It's you know, it's a big thing of, like I said, you know, you, or at least personally, I feel like with things like that, you really only get that experience and learn how to do it better by doing it.
Doing it.
You got to be like, I mean, like, you know, as much as I want to tell you it's easy to go out and play in front of like thousands of people, until you start playing in front of 5 people, it's going to be hard. Like, you know, it's like, you know, I've come back to multiple times just like telling stories of just when we first started out, the first time we ever played a show in West Texas in front of our friends and family, probably like 45 people were there maybe. And it was like we all took a shot before we played the show and my hand was just like shaking and I spilt half the shot on my like arm and it went down and it was like, oh my God, you know. And it's like, that's real, that's, you know, that's how it is. And, you know, to get comfortable playing in front of that many people, hey man, dude, okay, hold one, brother. That's a good one. That's a good Budweiser Zero fresh
snap.
taste. Right
Tastes
there.
just like the real thing, baby.
That's like me with gluten. I haven't had it in so long, so that's basically.
Do
real
you ever
good.
just want to indulge? Like, you know,
I
it's
want to.
It's not going to come
I
out
want
right.
to, but yeah, the cancer is a no for me.
Does it cause cancer?
Yeah. So like
Okay,
it
well,
goes out
yeah.
into your lower intestine, and because of how your body reacts to it, it will lead to getting cancer early.
Really?
Yeah, it's sadly really serious whenever, like, especially a lot of people are just like the gluten fad, like, oh, I don't eat that. And then restaurants don't give a shit. And then you go out to eat and then like you get cross contamination and you're like, fuck. Like, because then you feel sick for, you know, depending on how bad it could be. And then even depending on what your like severity level is with it, you know, it could be an afternoon feeling like shit or 2 or 3 days. You know, you just never know.
Iron Muck Brewing Company. Hey guys, it's Jager over at the Watering Hole. Have you guys ever been sitting out on a hot summer day and been thinking, man, I would just love a really nice ice cold beer? I've got just the thing for you. This is an Iron Muck beer made here, right here in Stillwater. And they've been making the best beer around for years now. And this beer right here is actually the Calf Rye beer. So you're actually watching a Calf Rye episode right now. We interviewed artists over at Calf Rye back in May. And Iron Muck hooked us up with a Calf Rye beer. And it was a special beer made just for Calf Rye. And it's one of the best beers around. It's one of the most crushable beers you'll ever taste. And they not only just have this one, they also have the 1890, which is actually the official licensed beer of Oklahoma State. And then other ones like Stilly Wheat, and then their new Servette base that they have out there now. So you guys go check out Iron Muck Beer for some of the best beer around. And thank you to Iron Muck Brewing Company for sponsoring this podcast. Tumbleweed Dancehall. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole podcast, and we want to give a huge shout out to the Tumbleweed right here in Stillwater. The Tumbleweed's been a huge part of our podcast and helping us get artists. And of course, as you know, they put on Calf Rye, as you can see behind me, one of the greatest festivals around. And that's the episode you're seeing right now, is what we did at Calf Rye, thanks to the Tumbleweed. They have all kinds of concerts lined up. They are closed during the summer, but time fall comes back around, they'll have a great lineup for you. I really wish we could share some details on that, but you're going to want to stick around to hear that. Thank you to Tumbleweed Dancehall for sponsoring this podcast. Blissful RV Rentals. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole podcast. We want to give a huge shout out to Blissful RV Rentals. Now, we'll throw some pictures up, but we had one of their RVs for our Calf Rye episodes, as you're watching now. Hope you're enjoying those. We worked with the team over at Blissful RVs to find the perfect RV for us. Now, they worked with us on the size of the RV, the time we needed the RV, and they even delivered the RV for us. So we can't thank them enough for that. It truly was a great fit. If you need an RV for any of your travel needs, contact Blissful RVs today. Thank you to Blissful RVs for sponsoring this podcast.
Well, if you can eat gluten, enjoy our sponsor, Bad Breath Barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, well, even if you can't
Absolutely.
eat gluten, it's a barbecue
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
You can go get a meat plate.
as long as they don't sneak it in with the rub or in the sauce, That's how they get you sometimes. Wheat binders. There's wheat in like shampoos and like toothpaste and shit. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I hear it makes you better at cornhole too, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
Snapdragon.
Hey, I've been watching the podcast, bro.
Hey, thank you for watching.
I have, man. I will say this. I'm very impressed with what y'all guys have built, man.
Thank you.
It's really cool to see y'all, especially like from our first interview we had with y'all. Like I kind of felt like there's a little bit of nerves and stuff like that, but I feel like now, like you get them on, like you get the guys on there, and it flows very nicely, man. It's enjoyable because for me too, as an artist, you know, I like listening to, you know, how my favorite artists grew up, or how they got into music, or what their favorite bands are. So like when I watched y'all's interview with The Great Divide, I watched it with you know, Damn Quails and all that. Like I think that was interesting as shit and great podcast, man. Like really good.
That's very nice.
That means more than you know.
Yeah.
And he really, even because I've told this to him sometimes, like I feel like from our first like interview, our podcast, we did interviews that we've done. Yeah. We've gotten better at interviewing.
Oh,
it's just like, it's just like
skill,
a show. Like
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think it's so cool because, you know, not a lot of people focus. I mean, as far as like big mainstream podcasts, not a lot of people focus on the Red Dirt, Texas scene. Yeah. And there's like so much lore and like stories and and crazy shit. You know, you don't really hear about just as a listener. You know, like you would never know that, you know, Brian White throws axes and shit, or you know, like shit like that. Like I would have never known that if I wouldn't have listened to the podcast.
Right.
So
fun fact: we actually went and threw axes with Brian White a couple weeks back.
Hey, let's go.
That's badass.
I actually came home from my baby shower to go throw axes with Brian White.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Back in March, but
all right.
Yeah.
After we had William on the first time, you were telling us that you watched that one and you were like, I can't believe y'all had William Clark Green on. So the second time we had him, we were like, we got to ask William about Treaty Oak. Like, want to see what he thinks. Yeah. And we forgot to ask.
Forgot. Wait, like the first thing after, I was like,
it'd have been who?
Well, I met him at Steamboat. He came up to me. I don't know if somebody told him to come up to me. I'm sure they did. But he came up to me. He was like, "Hey, how's it going, man?" I was like, "Hey, what's up?" He's like, "William." I'm like, "Yeah, I know who you are."
I've seen you on the watering hole.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'm Sam," and it was like super kind. I hope I didn't leave a bad impression because it was right during 49 Winchester's set, I think, at Steamboat.
Yeah. And
it was loud as shit in the tent. So the whole time we were just like screaming back and forth. So I'm sure I looked like a maniac. Yeah. Like I was just like, "Hi, I'm Sam. Yeah, I know who you are." And then he's like, "Hey, we're excited to have you down at Cotton Fest." And I was like, "Oh yeah, Cotton Fest. I love Cotton Fest." Like, and I was like trying to make conversation because I could barely hear him. But he was like, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Hey, I can't hear you. Can you like speak it into my ear?" And I already have shit hearing. He's like, "No, I want to say we're really excited to have you at Cotton Fest." I was like, "Oh, dude, we're so excited. We've been wanting to play that as West Texas boys for like the longest time." And he was like, "Yeah, well, I'm glad we got y'all when we got you because sooner or later we're not going to be able to afford you, or you're going to be out of the budget." I'm like,
"Damn,
thanks, man. I guess that's a compliment, but dude, I'll come play any festival that William Clark Green puts on. Man. Yeah, I just love that guy. Like as an artist, as a songwriter, as a musician, and I've met him a few times, like hung out with him. He probably doesn't remember me at all. I was just some shithead kid smoking cigs with him. But
a cool William Clark Green story is so we interviewed him when he was here in March, and I have this thing where this new thing I've started is any artist that has vinyl, I buy it or I get it and then I have them sign it and then I'm gonna frame it on my wall and put the picture that we take with them and then a little placard below it that says William Clark Green episode 35 and 55 with the Watering Hole podcast.
Yeah, that's badass.
So I told him about that. He was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "Do you have any vinyl?" And I never want to like ask for something from an artist, so I'm like, "Let me buy your vinyl," and he was like, "No." let me give this to you. And he signed it, and it was the limited edition vinyl that he had.
Damn.
Hell yeah.
On his website, it's like signed is like $150. He just gave it to me. I'm
That's
like,
sick,
you gotta be
man.
kidding me, dude.
That's
like,
awesome,
You did
man.
not have to do that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we got vinyls coming out here pretty soon. That's what
Really?
we were talking to Cody about it earlier. He's getting the shit set up, so we'll have a
Finishing
No
up
Vacancy
finalizing.
album and Have a Nice day.
Well, sign me up for 2 of them.
Hey, we'll
And,
gift you 2 and sign them for you as well,
well,
sir.
thank you so much.
You don't even have to ask.
Thank you. Well, but
We'll get it.
yeah, we're really thankful for you actually like listening, because we don't know how many people like listen to our podcast, and we don't know who they are or whatever, and it really means a lot saying that.
And what y'all do is almost similar to what we do. I mean, you put out content for other people to listen to that you find interesting, and that you hope other people find interesting. And you know, as high up in this thing as we get, like I still am a fan of the music. Like all these people who are playing today, I have at least one of their songs on my playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I've always been a fan of the scene. So like the fact that there's a podcast that these artists, like myself included, can go on and tell crazy stories and shoot the shit and just show people like, hey, these are just fucking normal, cool dudes.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
they just so happen to have a really badass job.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
So, and I think that's I want to support y'all the same way y'all support me. So that's why I listen to it, and it's good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Thank you. That
it makes the drives to the gigs a lot easier. I'll say that.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No
So
problem.
are you a damn Quails fan?
I like the damn Quails, man. I was a big Down the Hatch fan when that came out. I was in college or just getting into college, and I remember they played me the song "So Long."
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard that song?
Yeah.
So
That's a Gabe song,
long,
I think.
baby.
Gabe sings that one, right?
Go out and give them hell.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
We
But anyways, I heard that
I don't know the
song,
answer
and then I heard "Fool's Gold," and after that, I was just like, "Holy shit, these guys are great, man!"
So Brian, he's actually sent me some. They just dropped a live album. If you haven't, go listen to that. He has sent like me some Dropbox links to like some of their old like live album. Like they were thinking about putting out a live album. He's got so many like songs on there that like nobody has heard. Like there's one called "A Nickel's Worth of Difference." It's hilarious because it's just like him singing about random stuff, and literally a part of the song is him just going la di da 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 da, like in this Irish accent that he does, and then at the end he's like, "There's not a nickel's worth of difference between Kansas and Nebraska," and then he goes in between, and then he goes, like, I'm just sitting here trying to write a song essentially, and it was like basically at the end it's like, oh my god, I understand the song now. It's just random stuff that he could make rhyme.
Yeah. Oh my
One of my favorite damn Quail songs is "California Open Invitation."
Yes.
That's one of my favorite ones,
So
and only because I grew up for a time in Southern California.
Oh, okay.
And,
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. Every time I hear that song, like I can see all the images in my head and shit.
How long did you grow up in California?
Probably about 5 or 6 years.
Really?
I spent about 2 or 3 years in Porterville, California, which is kind of like up north, near the mountains and shit, and like kind of by Yosemite, I guess would be the best way to say it. And then for 3 years, I lived in Orange County, which is like right by LA, Southern California. And but I was born in Harlingen, Texas. Everyone's like, "Oh, you were born in California." I'm like, no, don't get it twisted. I was born in Harlingen, like way down by the border. And then we moved to California. Then I moved to West Texas.
Yeah.
So
we
More
did
than transplant.
we have this thing called GCNHM Sessions, where we put out like live acoustic songs from mostly local people. And we went to Brian's house. He lives like 15 minutes away, and we did 4, 5, 6, 7 something songs.
Yeah.
And we recorded them. Like we did videos along with the audio of them. They're all acoustic. And he did "Fool's Gold." He did "California Open Invitation." Tumbleweed Dancehall. Hey guys, it's Rhett from the Watering Hole Podcast, and we want to give a huge shout out to the Tumbleweed right here in Stillwater. The Tumbleweed's been a huge part of our podcast and helping us get artists. And of course, as you know, they put on Calf Fry, as you can see behind me, one of the greatest festivals around. And that's the episode you're seeing right now, is what we did at Calf Fry, thanks to the Tumbleweed. They have all kinds of concerts lined up. They are closed during the summer, but time fall comes back around, they'll have a great lineup for you. I really wish we could share some details on that, but you're going to want to stick around to hear that. Thank you to Tumbleweed Dancehall for sponsoring this podcast. And we were going to put that out in March, but they decided to put the live album out, so we pushed that back. But I'll have to send you the California Open invitation, because it's really good.
Yeah, you need to send him the batch, too. The batch is awesome.
Batch is good, too.
It's an unreleased song that they haven't put out yet. It's fantastic. It's about... In his words in the video, it's about his neighbors that he grew up with that died in a meth-related incident.
Like a meth lab exploded and killed him?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, he writes some of the craziest shit. Like, talk about a wild life that guy's probably fucking lived.
Yeah.
Man.
Have you ever heard the story about, like, someone in their band stabbed somebody before a show?
Yeah, because Rhett Jager convinced him that... the knife was, the jacket was knife proof.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? He didn't tell us that.
Yeah.
What?
Someone was telling me that the story was that Rhett Jager convinced one of his guys that this other guy had a knife-proof jacket on. And the guy's like, no, it's not knife-proof. And he's like, go up and try to stab him. And he went up and stabbed him.
That's not the story that he told. But
maybe this is a different one. But
that's even better.
We might be spreading lies out here right now.
No, that's even better, because I'm a huge Rhett Jager fan.
I am too.
That's
And when I heard that story, I was like, man, I don't see him doing that, but I guess like those redheads, man, they have a different side.
What's your favorite Rhett Jager song?
I really like Get the Money. Have you ever heard that song?
Yes, I love that song.
And the only reason I like that song the most is because I've always wanted to write a bank robbery song.
Yeah.
And that's like the perfect bank robbery song. Like, I'm like, I'll never be able to write a bank robbery song as good as that.
Yeah.
As subtle as that. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Such a good song. But, dude, all of his shit, Men and Coyotes, Culberson County, those two are great. And even Javelina, dude. I love Javelina. Javelina's great.
I love Javelina. Mrs. Buy Me Something.
Yeah.
I love that song.
Mrs. Buy Me Something.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that in the Vulture Culture.
Vultures.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Vulture Culture is great.
I'm so glad
I could sit here all day. The first Rhett Jager song I heard was One Last Call for Midnight. Too early, this don't feel right.
Oh, my God. What is it?
Never Turn Around.
Yes. Never Turn Around. Yes.
Yeah. Fucking... The coolest part about Rhett Jager is, y'all know 6 Market Boulevard is?
Yeah.
He wrote that 14 Miles From Home song.
Really?
Yeah, that was him. He said he didn't want to use it, so he asked Clayton Landau, he's like, hey, y'all would sound badass on this song.
Really?
It's like one of their best songs ever made.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I've been telling him, I was like, if Rhett Jager ever comes through here, I really want to have him on.
Dude, I can't wait to watch that episode if that ever happens. I will be watching that one.
Yeah. I'm so glad I have somebody that, because I don't really know a lot of people that listen to Rhett Jager, and so I'm so glad I have somebody that really loves you.
He's not really talked about that much.
He's not.
You know, it's funny, man. So here's a little behind the scenes secret. I run the band Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, like, a lot of the times I'll see, like, these, like, Western grunge or, like, those profiles who, like, are, like, this is my top 10 picks for, like, greatest songwriters ever. And it'll be, like, Charles Wesley Godwin, Zach Bryan.
Yeah.
I was like, where's, like, Rhett Jager, or where's Ian Noe, or where's Benjamin Todd from Lost Dog Street Band? Like, I was like, where are all these... They're crazy good songwriters, and you don't have them on your list. And they were like, well, Rhett Jager is meh. I'm like, Rhett Jager's meh? I'm like, dude, you're mid. I was like, Rhett Jager is crazy good at songwriting.
Yes.
Like, he deserves to be on that list of good songwriters.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Have you guys been keeping up with Old 60?
Yeah, man, we're actually playing a show with them in Houston at
Oh, cool.
Yeah. End of this
7/13.
month.
Yeah.
End of this month.
That's a great combo too.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah, they actually so we went and did some feature recordings at Taylor Kimball's new studio, the guy who we recorded our last record with. And he recorded Old 60, and he was like, "Yeah, man, they're like the
latest
oldest."
single.
He's like the oldest person in that group is like 23, and it's their. Y'all pick.
You pick. I'm putting it in your hands right now.
And I'll let you know if we can play it or not, because we don't have a capo. So.
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine.
What's your guys' favorite song off the new album to play acoustic?
I haven't really played
We haven't really played too many
the
acoustic.
acoustic.
All right,
What is there?
What's your favorite song off the first album to play?
No, do a new album song.
A new album
Yeah,
song?
since they said they haven't played one.
In between.
Okay. In between. We may need to
I
do, like,
can,
Stop
but
and
I can
Stare.
do
That's fine with me.
Oh, yeah.
That
There we
was, I almost said Stop and Stare, but I said.
All right. We can do that one.
Okay, stop and stare.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I'm drowning in a river full of rye, hanging out with the devil on a Friday night. Oh, and she ain't ever been a friend of mine since I left town. It's getting hard to sleep in that old bed. I never forget a damn word she said. Said he's so done, we're finished, go on and get out. I get out. 'Cause my heartbeat sounded like rain on the rooftops, dancing with a slut in her red and black two-top. Go for a ride and baby, it won't stop there. 'Cause I'm headed for the coast underneath the moonlight, asphalt's glowing underneath the streetlights, thinking about your big green eyes and your jet black hair. As I stop and stare. When you were something that I love for what it's worth, and she cussed till I was never fond of church. She was a wicked woman who had it out for me. Still getting hard to sleep in that old bed. My eyes are black and they're bloodshot red. And when I think of you, I find it hard to sleep. And my heartbeat sounded like rain on the rooftops, dancing with a slut in her red and black two-top. Go for a ride and baby, it won't stop there. 'Cause I'm headed for the coast underneath the moonlight, asphalt's glowing underneath the streetlights, thinking about your big green eyes and your jet black hair. As I stop and stare. Well, oh Lord, as I stop and stare. And I'm running by moonlight, I'm being gone by sunrise. She's hot on my tail. And I'm running by moonlight, I'll be on my sunrise. Lord, I need some help. Yes, I stop and stare. Well, Lord, as I stop and stare. I ain't stopping.
Awesome, guys.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much again for coming
Thank you.
on.
Thank
It's
you
always a
for
blast.
having us.
Yeah.
Anytime.
It's always awesome. So thank you so much.
By the way, real quick, we need to find Paige because we got to.
I just sent her a text.
Perfect.
There she is.
Right here.
Perfect.
Perfect. Well,
Speak of the devil.
well,
So
real quick,
we got you guys.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
show the camera real quick. Show the camera.
Got that.
Show our
award,
camera up
baby.
here.
Okay.
Number one.
So you guys
Thank you so
Hey.
much,
Yes.
man.
By the way, you guys have spots number 1 and 2. So
Hey, wow,
Weird
that's
flex.
awesome to hear, man.
Yeah.
Number 3. dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take it home, baby.
Let's go.
Trying to get the
Back-to-back
hat
champions,
trick.
man.
yeah. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
thank you for
really.
real.
We can't thank you enough.
Yeah.
We're gonna put this in the bus.
Yeah.
That's
Cool.
perfect.
Sweet.
Yeah, hang
Thanks,
up.
guys.
Hey, thank y'all.
Thank you, brother.
Let's take a group picture.
Yeah, come on.